Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be opening up the Dart Zone Max Dictator and seeing what kind of performance upgrades we can make to the inside, as well as kind of go over some possible outside cosmetic as well as quality of life improvements. I've got a few upgrades that I know I want to make in my mind, but I want to hear from you guys what type of upgrades should we make as we open this up. What do you think we should do to it? I kind of want to hear what your thoughts are, and we'll go from there. Just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at in the long term is I picture this kind of filling out a role or filling out a silhouette similar to the Halo 2 or Halo 3 battle rifle. And the reason why I feel like this is a really good candidate for that is the form factor. There isn't a traditional mag well in front of the trigger section of the blaster, and there's no giant magazine that sticks out from the bottom of it. So you have a kind of a blank canvas, if you will, with a high capacity, where the ammunition goes in, and yeah, I think the form factor would fit out really well with, that riser carry handle thing with the scope on top, getting a little bit more aggressive, B-car with that same type of rifling on the front of it. And then also as far as the cosmetics go, kind of shaping the actual handguard or front handle a little bit more like the Halo 2 handguard. It's still going to be a pump for now. Maybe more in the future, but for now it's still going to be an actual pump grip. But cosmetically, I want it to look like the battle rifle. Some of the quality of life improvements that I know I want to do right off the bat is I think I want to replace these 3 panels as well as these 3 panels with side Picatinny rail. So for like flashlight and camera mounts and things like that. Yeah, that's not not going in the same cosmetic vein as the battle rifle, but having that extra tactical rails really goes a long way with capturing footage and putting on attachments and things like that. But overall, I really dig this blaster. Now, I did take it to my local war this past weekend and played with it in its complete stock configuration, stock spring. Heck, I didn't even put a scar barrel on. I just used this kind of faux barrel friction fit thing just for good measure. But I had a lot of fun with it. I ran it with just standard Talon magazines. I didn't bother using the included 12 or 24. I guess it's 2 12s. I didn't run it with this because this is the only one I have, but I'm actually in the middle of making an upgrade to this, to the magazines, and I'll talk more about that when we get into the whole thing. Yeah, I've got lots planned for this. But like I said, I want to hear in the comments down below, what do you guys think we should do to this? Obviously, paint job is probably going to be required, yeah. So let's go ahead and start taking this thing apart. And see what happens underneath. I don't think I've actually taken this guy completely apart. I know he designed a different end cap for the for this part of the blaster, just so that we could fit a Talon 15 and a 10 together, I believe is what we could fit. But it was very rude. It was very rough. It was very just simplistic. It was just a proof of concept, really. But I don't think we actually opened this thing all the way up, and I'm kind of excited to see the mechanics inside, how much space there is to work with, what the barrel length is, what type of seal we're working with, all that good stuff. So first we're going to take apart these screws, and we're going to try to keep them in order. I think these are the same. Yeah, those are the same. We're gonna try to keep them in order, just to make our lives simpler. So let's go ahead and get this thing apart, and then we'll meet you guys on the other side once we get it open. screw left. It was hiding underneath the orange muzzle. That's okay. All right, there we go. Oh, watch your trigger spring. That popped off pretty quick. Let's flip this over, see. Looks like, yeah, there's nothing inside that would come flying out except for the trigger return spring, which goes here. That's not too hateful. You got a couple springs in here, vertical springs in here for the, what is that, the mag release. We've got safety, pretty beefy looking spring. There's another screw. Here's the part that we'll have to mimic for our Picatinny rail. The nice thing is, here, let me scoot this forward just a little bit. The nice thing is, it looks like it's got some pretty hefty mounting, so that's good for us. And the screws are the same, which are awesome. Good job, Dart Zone, keeping everything uniform. It makes it easy to put back. But what I'm thinking is just redesigning this piece here, but just put either redesigning this completely and putting in a couple pieces of like Picatinny like in here so that they push through, or the other thing I was thinking was redesign this whole thing as is, but have a couple screw ports with heat inserts that stick in, and then on this side mount a Picatinny rail flush. You know, mount flush against this. Obviously the rail would stick out a little bit, but that would give us, you know, one cohesive rail versus 3 individual little ones. We'll see how it goes. Either one would be pretty straightforward design wise. To get this gray part off, you just need to unscrew those 4 ports. Obviously you'll have screw ports coming out the other end, so you'll have to do something with those if you're going to be cosmetically changing it. Let's take a look here and see what we've got. So the way this works is you've got your mag goes in here. It's pretty cool how that works. Looks like it goes all the way in here, and then this is the part that when you pull back, it will pull the dart. This little hand right here comes up and pushes the dart in, I believe is how that's gonna work. Very cool. The barrel is not even friction fit in there. It's very, very loose. So we will definitely be wrapping some tape around there to get that sealed in. We'll probably end up taking this piece out and, you know, wrapping it here to make sure that it's solid, but it just sits in between these 2 pieces. That's what holds it in place from left to right, and then the front muzzle piece, it just kind of marries up to there. I mean, it's not even, you know, it's maybe a couple, maybe 1 or 2 millimeters in, but it doesn't, you know, it's not very solid. So I definitely think we can get a little bit more performance out of there. Yeah, so I think we can get a little bit more performance if we were to just tape, insert, and then tape. We would probably get a little bit better performance, a better air seal. As far as the barrel goes, you're looking at, let me zero my calipers here. Outer diameter is somewhere between 15.8 and 16. About, yeah, somewhere in there. Inner diameter, probably what, 13? Yeah, 13. Inner diameter is 13 millimeters, so pretty standard. The length of the barrel, this can't be what, more than 6 inches. 7 inches and 7 1/8 inches. One thing that we're going to run into, and I can see this already because we'll have to redesign this if we're going to make our barrel any longer. Now this is a pretty substantial plunger tube. It is an oval, which is kind of crap, but whatever. The size of it is roughly 91 centimeters or millimeters. Now, in resting form here, it looks like, just from looking through the actual plastic, it's probably closer to like 83 millimeters in length, which is a pretty substantial plunger tube, and that's probably where it's getting a lot of its power from, is just the amount of air that it stores. The spring itself seems pretty legit. We want to definitely we want to get rid of the safety delete. That's something we want to get rid of. Speaking of which, I need to do that on my try-on. This weekend I ran into several times when I was rotating hands that I felt myself bumping it and having to flick it back. Let's see here. Got some safety stuff. There's really not a lot of room. I mean, when you consider what this is, I mean, you're looking at magazine. You know, this is their 12 and 12, so their magazine comes in here, and it's coming all the way in and locking right there. Or maybe yeah, is it locking there? Yeah, it looks like it's locking there. But well, that's no good. They got the springs interlocked. Nice design though. This is a well-designed blaster. Like, you gotta think about the fact that they designed it with the 2 catch system, so you can catch, you know, this one with their original magazine, and I think the other one is for talons, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, maybe not. Oh, shit. No, maybe not. Maybe, oh, the other one's for katanas. That's what it is. The katana catch is a little bit higher up on the blaster, I believe. I don't have any of those. I don't plan on getting any of them, but it is nice that they put that thought into it. And these little pieces they seem well designed. I mean, let's see if I can get this. Let's see if I can get this back in here the way it was. Jeez. I'm assuming it goes. Yeah, it goes like that. There we go. Yeah, I mean, not too shabby. We could probably definitely put some lube in the plunger tube. I don't know about this spring. I'm gonna take these out so they stop jumping all over the place, because trying to find replacement springs is a pain in the butt. So we're gonna take those out. This is the mag release, so that sticks in here. So that you pull it this way, and that pulls those down, which releases the magazine. The other thing we could do, just for a quality of life improvement, is we could probably remove this first catch, or I guess the second catch rather, because we only use talons, so we would only need that first one when it comes in. So we need the right one. We don't necessarily need the left one. I don't know if that would make the mag release any easier, because you're not having to go through the first one and the second one. We'll see. We'll see. Let's take this apart a little bit further. We've got, what is this? This is the catch. This is an interesting system. Like, I'm almost afraid to take it apart. Oh, all right. So it looks like here is our first screw that is not, actually we got 2 of these. We've got one down here that is holding together the, something with the trigger. I think it's the trigger. Those 2 are the same. I think this is the trigger. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the trigger. So leave that alone. Let's see if we can pull this out. That is a tiny spring. I don't want to lose you. Put this back in here so you don't get lost. Like that. You go there. it's good to try and keep this stuff together so it doesn't go flying anywhere. I really want to get the spring out. So it looks like, be very careful here. It looks like we've got one spring on the catch. Let's pull this out here. All right, so there is the spring that goes with the catch. Pretty intricate looking catch too. That's interesting. Pretty beefy looking catch. I mean, I don't think this is going anywhere. It doesn't have any stress on it whatsoever. And again, I've only been running this stock, so it shouldn't. I mean, I can feel the air pushing out the front here. So it's not too bad. Oh my goodness, the whole like plunger system goes back. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I see how it, so this comes down. So with a Talon, this is the way it would work. So you got your magazine sits here. This comes down when you pull the priming back, and that lets the spring from the magazine push the next start forward. And then when you pull forward, this arm pushes the dart into this kind of breech loading system right there. And it's delayed just enough to where it's in there seated. And then it rotates down as the plunger closes in, and then it locks it into this spot right here. Now, there is an O-ring right here. It looks like it could use some lubrication. We will definitely do that. It's not broken. It seems like it's getting a pretty good seal. I don't know if putting a bigger O-ring on there would make much of a difference, like a little bit beefier of one. I mean, the tolerances are pretty darn close, because you can see, like, as it's coming back in with this rotating elbow thing, what actually rotates the dart down. I mean, right there you can see it's even hitting the stem here, the plunger head. So like there's just enough play to get it to rotate. The nice thing is, the thing that's well designed here, and what I want to definitely point out, is the stem of this plunger, I guess the plunger tube, I don't know what you'd call this, pusher, goes past the rotating part and into this solid piece here. So there shouldn't be, if it's a good enough seal, there shouldn't be any air leaking out that way. It should all be going forward. Obviously, we might try to play around with maybe a slightly bigger O-ring. I've got a box of O-rings. We might upgrade that. A little bit extra lube just to make sure that it goes through. But that is a really cool mechanic. Like, it's just so smooth. Of course, we'll probably add some lubrication here. Looks like they have some, but we'll add some lubrication into the sliding bits, into these tracks and stuff like that, to try and give it a little bit more cushion. God, that is really sweet. I like that so much. So the other thing that I wanted to mention too, guys, is with the magazine, I'm gonna try and upgrade these magazines as well. Now, my original design was taking a worker 15 round magazine, and I already built a coupler for it to couple it to a 10 rounder. So that would get me to 25, only one dart higher than this. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but there is a design on one of the websites, and I completely forgot who it was by and where it's at, but I'll put a picture down below. They basically took the 12 round shell, knock out the bottom. They designed a version that extends out this way, and you use one of the Tachi springs to go from the bottom all the way through, and it gives you a 30 round magazine. So that's really, really cool. And so you don't have to worry about flipping it. You don't have to worry about buying any more of these couplers or anything like that. Obviously, you need the 12 round magazines, right? Because you need the top portion of it, because that's what inserts into extension almost. So I've got 2, so that'll give me 60 rounds. I was thinking about picking up maybe 2 more and giving myself one full magazine and then 3 extra magazines. It's pretty long. I mean, it's probably about, I want to say it's probably about that long when you've got it all together. So putting them on like my thigh or whatever might be a good solution, but obviously putting them on my chest rig is not going to work at all. So that's going to be another thing that I'm gonna have to fight with. One of the other things that I was thinking of, since this is going to be a battle rifle build, is getting to that magical 36 number. And obviously we're going to need to make we'd have to extend out the magazine tray a little bit further, using the buttstock a little bit longer to incorporate those extra 6 darts. But I really think we really need to try. But at the very least, we're definitely going to be using those 30 round magazine extenders just to get full use of the whole stock of this blaster, and minimize the number of reloads, because that was one of the most frustrating things while running this thing stock, is just having to pull this out, tip the gun down, and throw the magazine in. Now, gravity dropping it in, and when it worked, was phenomenal. And I think with a larger 30 round magazine, that drop will be even better because of the added weight. But just simply dropping a 15 round magazine and was kind of clunky, and it didn't really kind of feel real solid. But yeah, so that's one thing that I am definitely going to be looking at getting into, is getting the extensions printed out and put together. So that's the inside of the Dictator, guys. Again, once you get the magazine in there, there's not a lot of room for anything. You got your spring and your catch and all that stuff is here. So I don't think there's really going to be much room for improvement when it comes to like adding like an automatic pusher or anything like that. We can probably get away with maybe a slightly longer barrel. That's kind of what I'm thinking, right? So like, if we redesign this piece, right, to friction fit, or we can have like a clamp or something, or maybe a couple grub screws on the top and bottom to center the actual barrel itself. Or the other thing you could do is there's just a little bit of a lip on the inside here. You could always take and sand that down so the barrel will slide through. Now keep in mind, if you do that, you won't be able to use this without taping up the end of the barrel, because the barrel will slide out the front. So what I'm talking about is removing the lip that holds this barrel from falling out. If we wanted to reuse this, we could, but I have a feeling when we start getting the customization side of things, we're going to be redesigning this so that it matches more of that Halo 2, Halo 3 kind of front end, which will give us an opportunity to use a longer barrel. So we can play around with it. The nice thing is, with this kind of setup, that just popped right off there, didn't it? Yeah. With this kind of setup, we're just going to be extending even if you extend the barrel out like an extra, 40, I'm just trying to get a kind of idea. Yeah, if you extend the barrel out like an extra 45 millimeters, that gives you just kind of just enough of a nub on the end that you can put on a bearing scar that has like the twist down wrench, twist down nut or whatever on it. Friction fit ones will work just as well. You'll have enough on there. But I mean, even going just a little bit further at like 50 millimeters, give yourself about an inch sticking out. That would be kind of the ideal situation. When we designed the front end of the battle rifle, it's kind of got that 3-prong kind of faux barrel sticking out of it. So I have a feeling what we'll end up doing is having the actual barrel go to where those 3 prongs kind of start, and then that'll be like the end of it. We could also, if we wanted to get real fancy with it, is we could stop the barrel, just short of, maybe 45, like I was talking about, 45 millimeters out, and then put a bearing scar on, and then run a faux tube around all of it, and then have our 3 prongs kind of sit. So it'll conceal not only the barrel, but the bearing scar, and then you won't even see any of that stuff. It'll just be all integrated into there. If we go that route with it, we're probably going to have to get pretty fancy with that faux barrel. It'll probably have to screw in to kind of like one of these plate pieces. That way you can get at the bearing scar and all that stuff. You don't have to take it all apart to get that stuff apart. So basically we redesigned this to allow the pass-through of the barrel, wrench the barrel down, put the bearing scar on, and then put the faux barrel over top of that, screwing that into this piece here. So that's long, that's way down the line. But for starters, you know, the spring itself is not, I mean, that's not too bad. I don't know. We probably can look at a couple different springs for this. I don't think this is the same size as K. It might be. It is, let's see. Let's give you a little bit of a readout here. So rough estimate, you're looking at, looks like 23.7 millimeters on the outside. On the inside, you're looking at, come on, 19.9, almost 20. So not too bad. The length of it is, I know I keep bouncing back and forth between inches and millimeters. I apologize. Just 1, 2, 3, 6 3/8. So there's your measurements for your springs. Like the tension of it's pretty good. I mean, it's not a, it kind of reminds me of the spring that was in the Pilot. A little bit longer, obviously. But yeah, that's, we could look at something that might beef that up. So yeah, not too bad. There's no solvent weldings, which is great. All the screws, save the 2 that have the built-in washer on them, are the same. Yeah, not too bad at all. So, all right, guys. Well, like I said in the below, leave some comments. Let me know what you think we should do to the inside of this. Again, we're going for the Halo battle rifle theme. Obviously, we're not going to put any type of automatic pusher in here, which was kind of what I was hoping for, but I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe getting an ammo counter on here inside the kind of the riser rail or whatever. I'm probably going to end up getting the same scope that I have on my Tryon for that one because it looks very similar. It's a sight, it doesn't magnify, but it looks that part, and that's kind of what we're going for is you know, looks, cosmetics. So again, let me know what you think below, what you would do to it, and if you've ever opened up Dictator and kind of what your thoughts are. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the upgrade video. Thanks for watching.